Assalamu alaikum. This is our lecture number 31 of managerial economics, and the topic that we are discussing is oligopoly. In our previous two lectures on oligopoly, we have discussed various models, and we have seen that this is a market structure where there are a few firms and they have a large market share. And the most important thing that we have noticed in these models is that in this market structure, there is the firms are strategically interdependent, and there is an inherent uncertainty. Well, the term strategically interdependent means that the firms are interdependent. This is what we have already seen in the various models that we have discussed. The models that we have covered in our previous two lectures are Cournot's model, Bertrand's model, Stackelberg models, and King demand curve by Paul Sweezy, and we have also discussed price leadership model. इन सब मॉडल्स में हमने जो बात नोटिस की थी वो ये थी कि जो ये सब मॉडल्स जो हैं देयर आर वेरियस मॉडल्स बट नन ऑफ दीज मॉडल्स कैन बी जनरलाइज्ड एज theory of oligopoly. So we have seen that there is not a single oligopoly theory or model which can generalize this oligopoly theory. That is why I have said earlier that this oligopoly market structure, it is a great challenge for the economists, because by using the traditional tools, it cannot be discussed as such in the sense that there is no single model which can generalize the theory of oligopoly. One of these new approaches is the theory of games, in short, game theory. This was developed as early as 1940s. The first systematic approach was developed by the mathematician von Neumann and the economist Morgenstern in 1944. Their work was published in 1944, and then after that various economists have developed theory of oligopoly based on this game theory. This is called game theory because basically it is based on homely games such as poker, chess. जिस तरह के चेस में एक जो प्लेयर है वो एक मूव लेता है और उसके बाद दूसरा प्लेयर जो है वो अपनी मूव लेता है, लेकिन उसकी जो कैलकुलेटेड मूव है दैट इज नॉट ओनली हिज ओन मूव बट ही आल्सो कंसिडर द मूव ऑफ द अदर प्लेयर. So in game theory, we can see that there are various important elements, and those elements are the players, the strategies, payoffs, and we have to develop a payoff matrix for each player. Well, as far as these terms are concerned, we are going to define them shortly, but by players we mean here we are considering firms. So in this case, as in our previous model, we will assume that there are only two firms. Although in the real world we have seen that oligopoly is a market situation in which there are a few firms. That is, their market share is large, but they are strategically interdependent in the sense that the action which is taken by one firm will not only impact the firm itself, but also the other firms. So that is why we use this term strategically interdependent. That is, they are interdependent on one another, and we are saying that actually in the market there are a few firms. So क्योंकि firms जो हैं उनकी तादाद कम है, लेकिन उनका जो market share है that is large. Therefore they have this tendency of they can impact the other firms by their action, since the other firm can react to the action of one firm. So action और इसके बाद reaction जो है दूसरी firms का, या एक firm जो strategy लेती है तो दूसरी firm जो है वो उसकी counter strategy लेके आती है, जिससे कि पहली firm जो है उस पर भी impact होता है और जो दूसरी firms हैं उन पे भी impact होता है. ये सब हमने जो पहले मॉडल डिस्कस किए हैं, कूर्नॉट मॉडल है, बर्ट्रैंड मॉडल है, इसी तरह से स्टैकलबर्ग मॉडल है, उसमें हमने डिस्कस किया था, लेकिन वहाँ पे हमने जो गेम थ्योरी का अप्रोच है वो नहीं यूज़ की थी. टुडे वी आर गोइंग टू यूज़ गेम थ्योरेटिक अप्रोच टू द theory of oligopoly. As I said earlier, that this theory of games or game theory was first systematically developed by von Neumann and Morgenstern. Later on, this was developed by various economists और ओलिगोपोली थ्योरी पे उन्होंने काम किया और जिसमें गेम थ्योरी के ऊपर अपने मॉडल्स को उन्होंने बेस किया। इसमें बहुत से इकोनॉमिस्ट के हम नाम ले सकते हैं और इसमें हम देख सकते हैं कि गेम थ्योरी जो है उसकी इम्पोर्टेंस जो है वो हम इस बात से देख सकते हैं कि 1994 में 3 economists they were awarded Nobel Prize for their work in this field, that is game theory. Specifically, the name of John Nash is very important because later on we'll see that we will discuss Nash equilibrium and Nash bargaining theory named after John Nash. और इसी तरह से कुछ 3 ये इकोनॉमिस्ट थे जिनको 1994 में अवार्ड दिया गया और इसके बाद 2005 में फिर इस गेम थ्योरी के फील्ड में जो है फर्दर 2 और इकोनॉमिस्ट को नोबेल प्राइज़ जो है वो दिया गया। तो इससे हम इसकी इम्पोर्टेंस जो है थ्योरी ऑफ ओलिगोपोली में जो गेम थ्योरी की इम्पोर्टेंस है उससे उसका अंदाज़ा लगा सकते हैं। The greatest contribution of this theory is, or this approach is, that high-speed computers can be used in the sense that high-speed computers can be used to for the controlled experiments. जो ये controlled experiments हैं real world में business situations में हम वो experiments नहीं कर सकते, but by using this game theory these controlled experiments can be used and they are conducted on high-speed computers. So this is one of the greatest contribution of this theory, जिससे ये है कि हम compare कर सकते हैं इन experiments को real world की situation जो business situations हैं या economic situation है उसके साथ हम इसको compare कर सकते हैं। तो यहाँ पे हमने देखा कि बहुत से economists जो हैं वो इसके ऊपर काम कर रहे हैं and this is considered to be a breakthrough in the theory of oligopoly. But as far as its contribution is concerned, as I said earlier, the greatest contribution it has is that we can use or we can conduct these experiments which are controlled experiments क्योंकि हम इसको laboratory में कर रहे होते हैं और high speed computers पे कर रहे होते हैं और various universities में ये जो game theory है इसके ऊपर बहुत सी games जो हैं वो डेवलप की गई हैं और स्टूडेंट्स और फैकल्टी मेंबर्स जो हैं वो इसमें पार्टिसिपेट करते हैं। बिल्कुल जैसे कि रियल वर्ल्ड में एक फर्म जो है वो एक स्ट्रैटेजी लेती है तो उसकी काउंटर स्ट्रैटेजी दूसरी फर्म लेके आती है। इसी तरह से स्टूडेंट्स और टीचर्स जो हैं उनके लिए स्पेशली स्टूडेंट्स के लिए ये गेम्स डेवलप की गई हैं और वो इसके ऊपर काम करते हैं। इस तरह से वो रियल वर्ल्ड की जो सिचुएशन है जैसे कि ऑक्शन है या डिफरेंट कॉन्फ्लिक्ट सिचुएशंस हैं like conflict situation game theory is basically it is concerned with the choice of optimal or best solution or best strategy in conflict situation. And what are those conflict situations? In these conflict situations include different strategies. As I said that in a game or theory model there are different elements which are very important like players, strategies and the payoffs. And I'll just give you shortly the definitions. But here, it is enough to say that these conflict situations are actually the different strategies which are open to the firms. If we are assuming, just like in our previous models, we have assumed that there are only 2 firms in the market. Just for the sake of simplicity, we are assuming that there are only 2 firms and we call one firm firm A and the other firm firm B. ये सिर्फ हम अपनी जो आसानी के लिए आपको समझाने के लिए जो डिफरेंट पे ऑफ मैट्रिसेस यहाँ पे दिखाएंगे तो उसमें सिर्फ 2 फर्म्स को हम कंसिडर करेंगे ताकि आप उसको आसानी से समझ सकें. So it's just for the sake of simplicity that we are using this model which is a specific form of oligopoly and it is called duopoly where we assume that there are only 2 firms in the market, firm A and firm B. As I was saying that the conflict situations open to the different, there are different strategies. आप इनको instruments भी कह सकते हैं, policy variables भी कह सकते हैं, that and these policy variables include price variables and non-price variables. The firm, the price variable, as far as the price variable is concerned, the firm can change its price. That is, it can increase its price or it can decrease its price. सो इसके पास एक जो स्ट्रैटेजी है उसकी फॉर्म ये है कि वो फर्म जो है वो हाई प्राइस चार्ज करेगी या लो प्राइस चार्ज करेगी. दिस इज़ वन स्ट्रैटेजी. दैट इज़ द टू स्ट्रैटेजीज ओपन टू द फर्म आर दैट द फर्म चार्जेस हाई प्राइस or the firm charge low price. But it's not just the action of this firm A, it's also the action of firm B which the firm has to take into account. That is, if the firm is charging high price, what will the firm B what will be the policy or the strategy of firm B? Because the strategy or the outcome of these strategies of one firm will not only depend on the strategy of firm A but also the counter strategy of firm B. तो इसलिए जो भी strategy है या action है या reaction है दोनों firms का that is important. So अगर वो price में high price को charge करना है या low price को charge करना है, that is one conflict situation. The other could be, as far as the price variable is concerned, the other could be that firm A can charge discount price or it can charge a regular price. तो इस तरह से और conflict situation में non price जो factors हैं those are the quality of the product, the quantity of the product, that is the production capacity, and also they have to decide whether to advertise or not to advertise. और इसी तरह से जो एक और conflict situation है वो हो सकती है कि रिसर्च एंड डेवलपमेंट पे जो है स्पेंड किया जाए या नहीं स्पेंड किया जाए. एंड सिमिलरली if the firm is a part or member of a cartel, then it has to decide whether to cheat or not to cheat, depending on the strategy of the other firm, that is firm B. So these are the different conflict situations which the firm can face in terms of oligopoly में. ये जो market situation है ये different कॉन्फ्लिक्ट सिचुएशंस जो हैं गेम थ्योरी इनके साथ डील करती है. इसी तरह से नेक्स्ट जो है हम आपको इनकी डेफिनेशंस बताएंगे कि प्लेयर्स क्या हैं और इसी तरह से जो स्ट्रैटेजीज़ हैं उनकी फॉर्मल जो डेफिनेशन है वो आप स्क्रीन पे देख सकते हैं. गेम थ्योरी बेसिक्स जो हैं दे इंक्लूड फंडामेंटल एस्पेक्ट ऑफ गेम थ्योरी. वन इज़ दैट देयर आर ओनली टू प्लेयर्स, दैट इज़ वी आर अज्यूमिंग दैट देयर आर ओनली टू फर्म्स in the market and these players are interdependent. Uncertainty, other players' actions are not entirely predictable. That is why we use the term inherent uncertainty. Firm A जो भी strategy ले रही है, adopt कर रही है, firm B उसके मुकाबले में क्या strategy लेगी इसके बारे में firm A जो है वो certain नहीं है. So वो इसको completely predict नहीं कर सकती. That is why we use this term inherent uncertainty. So the important factors of the oligopoly model is that the firms are strategically interdependent and there is inherent uncertainty in this model. There are various types of games. One is zero-sum game and the other is non-zero-sum game. As the name indicates, zero-sum game जो है उसमें एक फर्म जो है उसके जो भी गेन्स हैं वो दूसरे फर्म की लॉस है. दैट इज़ द गेन ऑफ फर्म ए इज़ completely or entirely it is offset by the loss of firm B. That is why the name, therefore the sum will be equal to 0. That is why the name zero sum game is given. As far as non-zero sum game is concerned, as the name indicates, in that case it could be a positive sum game or a negative sum game. If the parties are involved in a game which give them mutual gain, then it is called a positive sum game. And if on the other hand the parties are involved in a game which gives rise to losses, in that case it will be a negative sum game. Similarly, the other types of games in which we can classify the games is that the games could be cooperative games or non-cooperative games. This is what we have already discussed in case where we have considered collusive models. In our previous lectures, we have seen that firms जो हैं, they can collide or they do not form a coalition. This coalition could be overt or covert. That is, it could be an open agreement or it could be a secret agreement, and we have named it एज कार्टेल, जैसे कि हमने वहाँ पे ओपेक की एग्जांपल ली थी। तो इस तरह से जो कार्टेल है, क्योंकि वो इलीगल है बहुत से कंट्रीज़ में, तो बहुत सी फर्म्स जो हैं वो इसको सीक्रेटली एग्रीमेंट कर लेती हैं और फिर अपनी जो स्ट्रैटेजीज़ हैं उसके मुताबिक उस पर काम करती हैं। लेकिन ये ओपन भी एग्रीमेंट हो सकता है, और इस तरह से फर्म्स जो हैं अंडर दिस कार्टेल दे कैन आइदर कोऑपरेट और दे कैन नॉट कोऑपरेट, आई मीन दे डू नॉट कोऑपरेट। अगर वो कोऑपरेट करते हैं तो उस सूरत में उनका एक जॉइंट एक्शन होगा, और अगर वो कोऑपरेट नहीं करते तो उस सूरत में रिटेलिएशन होती है। दैट इज़, अगर उनका जो एग्रीमेंट था वो ये था कि दोनों डिस्काउंटेड प्राइस जो डिस्काउंट प्राइस जो है चार्ज करेंगे, तो इसके बाद एक फर्म जो है वो रेगुलर प्राइस चार्ज करना शुरू करती है, या दोनों फर्म्स पहले रेगुलर प्राइस जो है वो चार्ज कर रही हैं और उनमें से एक जो है वो डिस्काउंट प्राइस चार्ज करना शुरू करती है, तो इस तरह से दूसरी जो है वो रिटेलिएट करेगी। तो इस तरह से जो है एक प्राइस वॉर जो है वो शुरू हो जाती है। तो ये जो है कोऑपरेटिव गेम्स हैं और नॉन कोऑपरेटिव गेम्स हैं, और इसके ऊपर जैसे मैंने पहले कहा कि नोबेल प्राइज़ मिले हैं। दोनों ये जो टाइप्स की गेम्स हैं, नॉन कोऑपरेटिव गेम्स और कोऑपरेटिव गेम्स, इसमें डिफरेंट इकोनॉमिस्ट जो हैं उनकी कंट्रीब्यूशन है और उनको इस पे नोबेल प्राइज़ जो है वो मिला है। और दूसरी एक जो टाइप हम गेम्स की कह सकते हैं वो है 2 पर्सन गेम हो सकती है और n पर्सन गेम। As I said earlier that we are assuming that there are only 2 firms in the market, that is we are assuming that there are only 2 players. So that will be a 2 person game. But if on the other hand we consider the real situation in which there are more than 2 firms, that is a few firms, the number of firms is few, but it is more than 2. In that case we call it an n person game. So the players, as I said, that there are some key elements in each game theory model. These are players, strategies, payoffs. Players are the decision makers, the managers of oligopolist firms. A strategy is a specific course of action with clearly defined values for policy variables. Payoffs of a strategy is the net gain it will bring to the firm for any given counter strategy of the rival firm. And payoff metrics is the table giving the payoffs from all the strategies open to the firm and the rivals' responses. Now, first of all, players. As I said earlier that in our case, these players are the 2 firms. So if there are 2 firms, and obviously we are considering the firms or their managers, क्योंकि managers जो हैं वो strategies बनाते हैं and they are the key players in game theory as far as the oligopoly theory is concerned. तो managers के जो decisions हैं we are considering and we are trying to explain the decision making process of oligopoly which is made by these managers, और हम ट्राई कर रहे हैं कि हम इसको एक्सप्लेन करें और हम उसको प्रेडिक्ट करें कि वो किस तरह से जो है ये गेम प्ले करते हैं और डिफरेंट स्ट्रैटेजीज जो हैं वो उस पर किस तरह से काम करते हैं। देन वी हैव मेंशन्ड स्ट्रैटेजी। स्ट्रैटेजी इज़ वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट क्योंकि जैसे मैंने पहले बताया है दीज आर डिफरेंट पॉलिसी वेरिएबल्स, और जिसमें कि प्राइस वेरिएबल भी हैं, नॉन प्राइस वेरिएबल हैं, और इसमें फर्म जो है उसको डिसाइड करना है कि वो प्राइस चेंज करे या प्राइस चेंज ना करे। और दूसरे जो नॉन प्राइस फैक्टर्स हैं दे इंक्लूड वेदर टू एनहांस द क्वालिटी और नॉट टू एनहांस द क्वालिटी, और इसी तरह से एक्सपेंडिचर जो है एडवर्टाइजिंग पे वो कितना करना है, ये भी एक स्ट्रैटेजी होगी, और इसको करने के लिए उसको दूसरी फर्म को भी देखना है कि वो अपने जो है एडवर्टाइजिंग पे कितना उसका एक्सपेंडिचर है। Similarly, they have to decide how much to spend on research and development, and also they have to decide on, about the number of products. That is, if one of the old products is to be discontinued and a new product is to be launched. So they have to consider all these. These are all the strategies, different strategies हैं जो कि एक firm जो है वो ले सकती है। The payoffs are, payoff is the outcome or consequence of that strategy. So payoff जो है that is always expressed in terms of the goals of the firm. And if the goal of the firm is to maximize profit, then the payoffs are, they are mentioned as profit levels, which are the result of different strategies. Similarly, if on the other hand we are saying that the goal of the firm is to maximize market share, then these payoffs, they are described or they are expressed in terms of actual market share of the firm. अब ये जो पे ऑफ्स हैं, ये जो भी डिफरेंट फर्म्स की जो स्ट्रैटेजीज़ हैं, उनके रिजल्ट में जो उनको प्रॉफिट मिल रहा है या उनको जो मार्केट शेयर उनका जो इंक्रीज़ हुआ है या कम हुआ है, ये इस सब को एक्सप्लेन करने के लिए we form a matrix, and that matrix is called a payoff matrix. Since we are considering that there are only 2 players in our game, therefore this payoff matrix will be a simple payoff matrix which contains 2 rows and 2 columns. तो इसमें हमारे पास क्योंकि सिर्फ 2 players हैं, इसलिए हमारा जो ये payoff matrix simple 2 by 2 matrix होगा, in which we have 2 rows and 2 columns. As I said earlier that we are going to consider some simple games here, which includes Prisoner's Dilemma and Nash equilibrium. The most famous game is the so-called Prisoner's Dilemma. This was first developed in 1950s. 1950s में ये जो एल्बर्ट टकर ने इसका जो ये स्टोरी थी या जो भी इसका बैकग्राउंड था, इसको डेवलप किया और इसका नाम जो था Prisoner's Dilemma दिया. Why the name Prisoner's Dilemma? There is a story or there is a background behind it, and the story which is narrated, it is quite interesting that there are 2 criminals. They have उन्होंने 2 criminals हैं जिन्होंने एक armed robbery जो है बैंक में वो की है, and these 2 criminals they are, let's say we call them prisoner A and prisoner B. They are arrested and they are being interrogated. But they are isolated, that is they are kept in isolated cells and they cannot meet each other because they are already in jail. And but there is not sufficient here, they don't have this sufficient उनके पास कोई इस तरह का सबूत नहीं है, इसलिए उन्होंने अभी इसके ऊपर जो है उनको इन्वेस्टिगेट कर रहे हैं. Since they are being investigated, but they are already in separate cells, they don't have any communication with each other, therefore they cannot, there is no question of cooperation. As I said earlier that there are 2 types of games, one is cooperative game and the other is non-cooperative game. इसमें जो choices इनको पुलिस जो है वो देती है, those choices include that prisoner A is told, both of these prisoners separately they are told that if one of them confess and the other does not, the one who has confessed, he will go free. The other one will have a sentence of 10 years. If on the other hand, अगर जो prisoner A है, अगर वो confess नहीं करता और दूसरा confess कर लेता है, तो इस तरह से एक जो है वो free हो जाएगा और दूसरा जो है उसको 10 years की जेल हो जाएगी. If on the other hand, the other choice which is given to them is that if both of them do not confess, or if both of them confess, they will get a 5-year jail each. If both of them do not confess, they will get a minor term which is 1 year jail to each prisoner. Now on your screen you can see the payoff matrix here. जैसे कि मैंने पहले कहा that the strategy which is open to them is to confess or not to confess. And they are facing a dilemma, which you can see from the payoff matrix on your screen. Well, if we look at this payoff matrix, we can see that we have the payoffs for individual B and individual A, that is prisoner A and prisoner B, and there are 4 outcomes possible. 4 outcomes of these different strategies, that is whether to confess or not to confess. There are 4 outcomes where the first number is the payoff for individual A and the second number presents the payoff for individual B. In this case, we have written here, as you can see, payoff matrix negative values. Why the negative values? The reason is that we are talking about the prison or punishment. तो जो punishment है 5 years की हो, 1 year की हो या 10 year की, that is a negative thing. That is not a positive thing. So here the only positive value is 0. That is when prisoner A or prisoner B goes free. As you can see that here, if we look at the payoff matrix, और हम देखें कि यहाँ पे अगर हम ये देखना चाहें कि प्रिजनर ए जो है उसकी क्या स्ट्रैटेजी होगी, दैट विल डिपेंड ऑन द स्ट्रैटेजी ऑफ प्रिजनर बी. If prisoner B decides to confess, then prisoner B जो उसके पास either उसको, और वो भी confess कर लेता है तो उसको 5 years जेल होगी, और अगर वो confess नहीं करता तो उसको 10 year की जेल होगी. This means that here the optimal strategy for prisoner A is to confess. Okay, but if prisoner B decides not to confess, in that case prisoner A goes free if he confesses, and he will get a 1-year term if he does not confess. This means again here the optimal strategy is to confess. So in both of these cases, whether prisoner B decides to confess or not to confess, prisoner A will prefer to confess because that is the optimal strategy which he has. लेकिन जैसे कि आप देख सकते हैं कि अगर वो यहाँ पे जो 10-0 का कॉम्बिनेशन है उसको 10 year की जेल होगी अगर वो जो है कन्फेस नहीं करता और प्रिजनर बी जो है वो कन्फेस कर लेता है. इसी तरह से सिमिलरली वी कैन इलस्ट्रेट और वी कैन एक्सप्लेन द स्ट्रैटेजी ऑफ प्रिजनर बी. सो वी कैन सी दैट फॉर बोथ ऑफ द प्रिजनर्स द ऑप्टिमल स्ट्रैटेजी इज टू कन्फेस. ऑन द अदर हैंड रियल वर्ल्ड में क्या है कि दे कैन परफॉर्म, दे कैन डू बेटर if they do not confess, because if both of them do not confess, they will get a minor term which is 1 year jail. लेकिन क्योंकि उन्हें नहीं मालूम, that is they cannot predict the strategy of the other prisoner because they are in isolation and they cannot talk to each other. They don't have any communication between them, therefore they cannot cooperate in this case. So this is an example of non-cooperative game, but this is an example on which this prisoner dilemma game is, it depends. So इसी story के ऊपर जो है different economists, they are fascinated with this example of prisoner's dilemma because the reason is that it is similar or it can be applied to many business or economic situations, as we have earlier mentioned, that whether to charge a high price, a low price, whether to charge a discount price or a regular price, and similarly to advertise or not to advertise, or to cheat or not to cheat in case of a cartel. For all these conflict situations, the firm has to decide by using this concept of prisoner dilemma. तो प्रिजनर डायलेमा के केस में हमने देखा है कि वो बेटर ऑफ होते अगर वो डिसाइड करते, दोनों डिसाइड करते दैट दे डू नॉट कन्फेस, बट सिंस दे कैन नॉट कोऑपरेट, देयरफॉर दे विल गो फॉर कन्फेशन, and in that case this will be their optimal strategy, and this will be the dominant strategy in the sense कि यहाँ पे उनकी यही ऑप्टिमल स्ट्रैटेजी होगी, क्योंकि अगर वो कन्फेस नहीं करते तो फिर उनको 10 year जेल होगी. सो दिस इज़ द डायलेमा दैट दे आर फेसिंग, बोथ ऑफ दीज प्रिजनर्स आर फेसिंग, सो दे विल डिसाइड to confess. So in this case the optimal strategy for both of these prisoners is to confess. Now using this prisoner's dilemma, actually जो कि स्टोरी जिसके ऊपर बेस करती है ये वाली गेम, और इसी पे इसका नाम है, that is prisoner's dilemma. We will consider the different business situations or economic situations, and this is what we are going to explain. As you can see that on the next screen, we have shown here that both of these prisoners, they will choose to confess, and this is shown by the circle, by the blue circle which we have drawn here. So their dominant strategy is to confess, and both of these individuals will confess and they will get a 5-year term, instead of doing better, that is getting a 1-year term, because they cannot predict the strategy the other person is going to take. So इसलिए दोनों जो हैं यहाँ पे कन्फेशन कर लेते हैं और उनको 5-year जेल जो है इस सूरत में होगी, और इसी को हम नैश इक्विलिब्रियम भी कहते हैं, जिसको हम बाद में एक्सप्लेन करते हैं. So taking this example, that is using this prisoner's dilemma game, we are going to now consider different business situations. The first of these is price competition. That is the first application that we are going to use here for the prisoner's dilemma game. That is application here is price competition. Here again we have two firms, firm A and firm B, and they have to decide whether to charge a low price or to charge a high price. As I said earlier, that it's not the firm A only that is its own action to charge a low price or high price. It will also depend on the strategy that firm B will take in this case. That is firm A जो है उसको अगर हम देखते हैं कि उसके जो स्ट्रैटेजी क्या होगी, तो ये डिपेंड करेगी फर्म बी के ऊपर. इफ़ फर्म बी decides to charge a low price, in that case we can see that firm A payoff is 2 if firm A charges low price, and its payoff is 1 if it charges high price. So what will be the optimal strategy for firm A? That will be to charge a low price, क्योंकि वहाँ पे उसका profit जो है ज़्यादा है. अगर वो लो प्राइस चार्ज करता है जबकि फर्म बी जो है वो लो प्राइस चार्ज कर रही है, तो उसका प्रॉफिट जो है वो 2 है, और अगर वो लो प्राइस हाई प्राइस चार्ज करेगा तो उसका प्रॉफिट 1 है. तो हम यहाँ पे फिगर्स जो है वो यूज़ कर रहे हैं 2, 1, बट ऑब्वियसली दे कुड they might imply that the profit is $2 million or maybe $2,000, but we have used these figures just to in order to avoid the clutter. Next हम देख सकते हैं कि अगर firm B decides to charge a high price, in that case firm A payoff is 5 if it charges low price, and its payoff is 3 if it charges high price. So again, the optimal strategy for firm A is to charge low price. Similarly, we have here moved down the left column and the right column. Now, if we look at the strategy that the firm B has to take, then firm B has to consider what will be the strategy of firm A. In that case, if firm A decides to charge a low price, then firm B's payoffs are 2 and 5. And if firm A decides to charge a low price, तो इसके बाद इसके नतीजे में जो firm B के payoffs हैं उनको हम consider करेंगे. And if on the other hand firm A decides to charge a high price, then what are the payoffs of firm B? So in both of these cases we can see that the optimal strategy for both of these firms is to charge a low price. So इसलिए यहाँ पे जो दोनों की strategy होगी वो दोनों low price charge करेंगे, जबकि आप देख सकते हैं कि अगर वो high price दोनों charge करें, then their profit will be larger, that is 3-3. As you can see in the lower bottom cell, the combination which is given is 3-3, whereas in the upper left cell जो है वहाँ पे जो हमने circle किया है blue color से, उनकी जो policy होगी, दोनों की जो strategy होगी firms की, they will both charge low price because this is the dominant strategy or the optimal strategy. लेकिन यहाँ पे जैसे पहले हमने कहा कि अगर वो एक दूसरे के साथ कोऑपरेट करें, then in that case they might earn a higher profit and they will both decide to charge a high price. But if they are not cooperating, if it is a non-cooperative game, then in that case their strategy will be to charge a low price, and they will earn, both of them, they will earn $2 million or $2,000. In that case, the payoff is $2,000 for both of these firms. Again, we use the same payoff metrics. We have only changed here the headings, and those headings are to advertise or not to advertise. Again, we have two firms, that is firm A and firm B. Since we are using the same payoff metrics, our explanation will be the same. जहाँ तक इस interpretation का ताल्लुक है, it will be the same. Therefore, we can see that in this case too, the dominant strategy for firm A is to advertise, and similarly for firm B is also advertise. Therefore, again you can see that the payoff, यहाँ पे जो उनका profit है, it is the same because we are using the same values here. उनके payoffs हमने change नहीं किए. We have not changed the payoffs of either of these firms. Therefore, we can see that if they cooperate, they can make a larger profit in that firm, because in that case their payoffs are larger. But if they do not cooperate, join to उनका action नहीं है, तो उस सूरत में again they will have this solution which is suboptimal solution. It is suboptimal solution in the sense that in this case when they both advertise, when they both decides to advertise, that is firm A, firm B both decides to advertise, their profit is $2,000 $1,000 each, whereas if they don't advertise, both of them do not advertise, their profit will be larger, that is $3,000 each. But since they are not cooperating with each other, it's not a joint action, therefore they will have this suboptimal solution. But in any case, this is the solution which will be the equilibrium solution or equilibrium outcome. In the next screen too, you can see that we have taken another conflict situation. We are assuming that the two firms are the members of a cartel, and here the conflict is whether to cheat the other firm or not to cheat the other firm. So firm A है और firm B है. Again, they are the same firms and the same payoffs. We are using the same payoff metrics here. So explain, अगर हम जो इसके interpretation है वो वही होगी. Again, if they cooperate, they will use not to cheat. They will not cheat each other, and in that case, their payoff is larger. लेकिन अगर वो दोनों cheat करेंगे तो उनका जो payoff है that is suboptimal, वो कम है. But this again depends whether they are playing a cooperative game or a non-cooperative game. So in all these cases, we have used the same payoff metrics in order to simplify this so that you can understand what is a conflict situation. There are different types of conflicts, and the strategy in both of these cases, what is the dominant strategy and what is the optimal strategy. यहाँ पे हम देख सकते हैं कि डोमिनेंट स्ट्रैटेजी अगर हम ये कह रहे हैं कि वो है कि दोनों फर्म्स चीट करें एक दूसरे को. If firm A is cheating, if firm A decides to cheat, it will cheat regardless of the strategy of firm B. Similarly, if we say that the dominant strategy of firm B is to cheat, then it will cheat no matter what A does. So in this case, this is what is called a dominant strategy. तो इसमें दोनों की जो dominant strategy है that is to cheat if they are not cooperating with each other. So वहाँ पे भी इनका जो end करेंगे क्या है कि सब optimal solution होगा और इससे वो बेहतर कर सकते हैं, लेकिन क्योंकि वो cooperate नहीं कर रहे इसलिए यहाँ पर भी ये सब optimal solution है. But this is the equilibrium outcome in this case, and we have shown it by circling it with the blue color. Again, we are going to see what is meant by a dominant strategy. As I said earlier, that it is not necessary that the two firms have a dominant strategy. It's quite possible that one of the firms or maybe both of the firms do not have a dominant strategy. In that case, we will describe what is a Nash equilibrium. So we are going to consider two examples here. Both are related to advertising. So we will first consider the first example, advertising 1, and then the other example that is for advertising again, which is 2. So previously in the first example, we will consider when both firm A and firm B has a dominant strategy, and in the second advertising example, we will see that firm B has a dominant strategy, but firm A does not have a dominant strategy. This is what we are going to compare here. In the first example, both of these firms have a dominant strategy. So if we look at our screen, we can see that here we have changed the payoffs of the two firms. That is, now our 4 outcomes are, one is 4-3, the other is 2-5 column wise. The first, that is the left column, and in the right column we have the payoffs 5-1, 3-2. As I said earlier, that the first element represents the payoff of firm A, and the second element of each outcome represents the payoff for firm B. Here, what is the optimal strategy for firm A if firm B chooses to advertise? Now, if firm B chooses to advertise, then firm A chooses to advertise. If firm A chooses to advertise, the payoff is 4. Otherwise, the payoff is 2. So the optimal strategy is to advertise. Here we have seen that if firm B decides to advertise, then what will be the optimal strategy for firm A, since firm A payoff is 4 when it advertises and its payoff is 2 when it does not advertise. Therefore, the optimal strategy for firm A is to advertise. फर्स्ट कॉलम को हमने ब्लू सर्कल किया है ताकि आपको पता चले कि हम यहाँ पे कौन से आउटकम्स जो हैं उनको या पे ऑफ्स जो हैं उनको कंसिडर कर रहे हैं, और इसके बाद रेड सर्कल जो है उसमें आपको जो अल्टीमेटली ये डिसाइड करेंगे वो शो किया है, दैट इज़ बोथ ऑफ देम विल advertise, that is their dominant strategy is to advertise. On next screen you can see that here we have to see what is the optimal strategy for firm A if firm B chooses not to advertise. पहले हमने consider किया है what will be the strategy of firm A when firm B chooses to advertise, and now we are going to see what will be the strategy of firm A when firm B chooses not to advertise. Here you can see the payoff. If firm A chooses to advertise, the payoff is 5. Otherwise, the payoff is 3. Again, the optimal strategy is to advertise. So here we can see that what will be the optimal strategy of firm A if firm B chooses to advertise and if firm B chooses not to advertise. In both of these cases, the optimal strategy for firm A is to advertise. This means that firm A, the dominant strategy for firm A is to advertise no matter what firm B does. So अगर firm B जो है advertise करती है या नहीं advertise करती, दोनों सूरतों में जो firm A है उसकी जो optimal strategy है that is to advertise, and that is what is called a dominant strategy. So firm A की जो dominant strategy है that is to advertise. Now let's look at firm B. So on your screen you can see regardless of what firm B decides to do, the optimal strategy for firm A is to advertise. Therefore, the dominant strategy for firm A is to advertise, and this is shown by the blue circles. अगर firm B जो है वो decide करती है advertise करने पे, तो firm A का जो pay off है that is 4, और अगर वो डिसाइड करती है कि वो फर्म बी डिसाइड करती है कि वो एडवर्टाइज नहीं करेगी, तो उस सूरत में फर्म ए का जो payoff है that is 5. So this is what we have encircled. Now we have to look at firm B strategy. What is the optimal strategy for firm B if firm A chooses to advertise? If firm A chooses to advertise, then if firm B chooses to advertise, the payoff is 3. Otherwise, the payoff is 1. The optimal strategy, therefore, is to advertise. Here we have to see across the row. That is the first row, and you can see that this is, we have encircled it by the blue, और इसके बाद हमने red से circle किया है 4, 3 को, और यहाँ पे आप देख सकते हैं कि अगर A जो है, if A chooses to advertise, then B's payoffs are 3 and 1. So obviously again the optimal strategy for firm B is also to advertise. What happens if firm A chooses not to advertise? Then in that case we can see that if firm A chooses not to advertise and firm B chooses to advertise, the payoff is 5. Otherwise the payoff is 2. Again the optimal strategy is to advertise. यहाँ पे आप देख सकते हैं, we can see it across the second row, and here we can see clearly the payoffs of firm B. They are 5 and 2. So again obviously 5 is greater than 2, so the optimal strategy for firm B is to advertise. On the next screen you can see the result, that is regardless of what firm A decides to do, the optimal strategy for firm B is to advertise. So the dominant strategy for firm B is to advertise, and this is shown by the blue circles. We can see that the dominant strategy for firm A is to advertise, and the dominant strategy for firm B is also to advertise. This is also called Nash equilibrium, and this is what you can see on your screen, that both of these firms, their dominant strategy is to advertise, and this is shown by the red circle, that is their payoffs in that case will be 4 and 3, that is firm A profit is $4 million and that of firm B is $3 million respectively. Next we consider the second example. As I said earlier, that it's not necessary that both firms have a dominant strategy. It is quite possible that one of the firms or both of the firms do not have a dominant strategy. On the next screen you can see that we have changed only one outcome, and that is the bottom जो यहाँ पे outcome था right column में, we have changed that. Previously it was 3-2 and now it is 6-2. The remaining all the outcomes, that is the remaining all three outcomes, they remains the same. We have changed only one outcome in order to see this, that if one of the firms has a dominant strategy while the other firm do not have a dominant strategy. So यहाँ पे जैसे मैंने पहले कहा, the payoffs are the same. So what is the optimal strategy for firm A if firm B chooses to advertise? If firm A chooses to advertise, the payoff is 4, otherwise the payoff is 2. So the optimal strategy is to advertise. Now on the next screen you can see that we have to consider what is the optimal strategy for firm A if firm B chooses not to advertise. In this case, as you can see that here we have changed the payoff of the combination, which was previously 3-2, now it is 6-2. So if now firm B chooses not to advertise, firm A chooses to advertise, the payoff is 5, otherwise the payoff is 6. So in this case, the optimal strategy is not to advertise. So here we can see that the optimal strategy for firm A, previously it was to advertise, but now it is not to advertise. This means in this case, firm A do not have a dominant strategy. तो यहाँ पे इसकी जो, क्योंकि पहले डोमिनेंट स्ट्रैटेजी वो है कि दोनों सूरतों में वो एडवर्टाइज हम कह रहे थे कि वो करेगी. Regardless of what firm B does, the firm A's dominant strategy is optimal strategy was to advertise. In that case, we call it a dominant strategy. But here we have seen that if firm A, firm B decides to advertise, firm A will advertise. That is, its optimal strategy in that case is to advertise. But if firm B decides not to advertise, in that case, firm A will also not advertise. So this means that now firm A do not have a dominant strategy. Agar firm A will do what firm B does. If firm B decides to advertise, if it chooses to advertise, then the optimal policy or optimal strategy of firm A is also to advertise. If on the other hand, firm B decides or chooses not to advertise, firm A will also not advertise. So in this case, we can say that now the optimal strategy for firm A is not to advertise. Previously, we were saying that its optimal strategy is to advertise. Therefore, in this case, firm A does not have a dominant strategy. So we have not changed the payoffs of firm B. Therefore, the firm B's dominant strategy is again to advertise. So यहाँ पे हम देख रहे हैं that firm B has a dominant strategy, but firm A now has it has not a dominant strategy. Firm A will do what the firm B does. If firm B decides to advertise, then firm A will advertise. But if firm B does not advertise, it chooses not to advertise, in that case, firm A will also not advertise. So यहाँ पे हम देख सकते हैं, this is what is called Nash equilibrium. And we will, in Nash equilibrium, we can see that Nash equilibrium, the concept of Nash equilibrium is broader than the concept of dominant strategy. क्योंकि जब dominant strategy की हमने बात की थी तो हमने कहा था कि that is also Nash equilibrium. But in this case, it is a case of Nash equilibrium. That is the one firm's optimal strategy. यहाँ पे जो firm A की optimal strategy है, that is to advertise or not to advertise. We assume that that will depend on the strategy of firm B. So here we have seen that basically we have considered prisoner's dilemma, the game theory in which we have basically concentrated on prisoner's dilemma, and now we are moving towards the other concept which is equally important, and that is Nash equilibrium, after the name of John Nash, who was a Princeton University professor, and he was awarded a Nobel Prize for his work in this area. Next time we are going to continue with this topic. Thank you and Khuda Hafiz.